Hello, everybody. This is Analytical Survival, and welcome to interview number 2 in a 3-part series with noted YouTube guest CampfireTalk. Today, we're going to be talking about fitness and particularly how it relates to methods of training, gear, and nutrition. As I've mentioned before, CampfireTalk is an avid runner and has competed in many types of endurance events over the past years. Today, he's going to share some of his wisdom with the audience and some practical ways that we can all take better care of our health. Mr. CampfireTalk, welcome once again to the Analytical Survival channel.
Thanks. It's great to be back and looking forward to part 2 here.
Awesome. Let's jump right on in. I wanted to see if we could delve a little bit further from our first interview, and I wonder if you could address the topic of setting goals. And I say that because I know it's easy for a lot of us to overextend ourselves when we first start out. We all like instant results, and I'm talking about myself, but a lot of times that's just not realistic or sensible. So, in your experienced opinion, what is the best way to establish sensible and reachable goals while on a training regimen?
Well, first off, I would create a weekly workout schedule. And I know that may seem like a no-brainer, but it gives you something to shoot for each week. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. There's some online, like a couch to 5K is a real common thing that you can find and look up. You can also look up half marathon, full marathon training schedules and use those as a template to do your workouts by. I did that starting out, and that was a great guide for me. But nowadays, actually, I create my own custom schedules. It allows me a little bit more flexibility with my work schedule and family schedule, and I can work. I know that Tuesday night I can maybe squeeze this in, or Thursday afternoon I can go in for a run. You can shoot for distance goals. You can shoot for speed goals. You can work in maybe hill repeats or some sprinting exercises, and also sometimes for yoga. That's just something that I do, which strengthens core and flexibility. But basically, a workout schedule is going to be huge. And also, I would add to that signing up for an organized event like a 5K, a 10K, or even like a half marathon. You know, you can obviously go up to a full if that's your goal. But go register for it, put it on your calendar. You've got that goal to shoot for, and it will definitely help you, pull you along, and get you ready for that.
Awesome. I'd like to ask a question of whether you work out alone or if you prefer training with others. And the reason I say that is because, a workout partner, very often they not only make us accountable, but they push us to exceed beyond what we think is possible. Actually, there's quite a few folks that I know who already do this, and they all end up going to 5 and 10Ks together. So it's become for them a social and competitive pastime. So I wonder what your thoughts on that were.
Yes, workout partners are great. They're huge motivators, encouragers, and you can be that to them as well. I do most of my training runs and workouts alone just due to my schedule. I do have a group of running friends that will maybe meet on a weekend if possible, if we can get together, or we'll do some races together. We'll sign up and do 5Ks. The Ragnar Relay Series, which I've done, this will be my 3rd year to do that. And you're running in a team environment. You're one of 12 runners. And that's a great atmosphere also. If you're training for something like that, you know that you need to be ready to do your part. And so there's some accountability there when you're running with other people like that, because you know that if you don't run well, then the team's not going to do well. And I would also say if you do not like to work out or train with other people, you can just kind of be your own motivator. There's also a lot of running apps now on smartphones, and you can do that. There's also even like networking sites, like there's one called the Daily Mile. It's kind of like Facebook, but for runners. And you can go on there, you can log your workouts and monitor that, and even meet other people or kind of encourage those. So there's a lot of options nowadays.
Awesome. Nutrition and supplements. I know that what the food that we intake, it makes a big difference for performance and endurance. Can you share with the audience the kinds of foods that you take to give yourself an edge while training or running? In addition, what kind of foods do you avoid?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a huge topic, and I've got to admit that for the longest time, I did not do anything in this area. I made no changes to diet or nutrition. I just ran and just ate normal, or what I normally ate, I should say. And when I did make changes and kind of made a smarter diet, smarter meal plan, my performance increased enormous. I was able to run much better, further. I was able to recover faster in between workouts, and it made a huge difference. I will say, as far as drinks, drink a ton of water, drink mostly tea and coffee also, as far as forms of caffeine. I don't do a lot in the way of energy drinks. Not that they're bad, I just don't do them that often. If anything, maybe a 5-hour energy. For the most part, it's tea and coffee and water for me. And I don't drink sodas. I think they're terrible. I think if you're going to be doing a lot of miles, you need to have carbs in your system. You're going to be just burning a ton of stored energy, and that's what carbs are. You're going to just need to eat a lot of carbs for long distances. Hard workouts, you're going to want some type of post-recovery something. And I've been drinking muscle milk. It has a good amount of potassium and protein, and you would take that basically right after a hard workout. And you can find that at a lot of health food stores and even just basically some of your local grocery stores. But, you can check that out for yourself. It's what I take, so I'm just kind of speaking from my perspective here. Also, I eat about 5 meals a day, try to avoid processed foods, a lot of snacks like almonds and dried fruits. And that's a quick overview of nutrition. It's a huge topic, though.
Okay, awesome. Let's talk a little bit about gear like shoes and clothing. So regarding these items, where's the middle ground for you, and how does our audience members pick the right shoes for training?
Well, I got to start off and say when I first started running, I didn't have any dedicated running shoes and exercise clothes. I just used what I had, and it was cargo shorts and trail running shoes. And let me tell you, those are not ideal, but it's what I had and what worked at that time, and I ran in it. It didn't take me long to figure out I needed to gear up for that. So I went to a dedicated shoe store for runners in my town, and if you don't have one of those locally, maybe just go to the best sporting goods store in your area. Preferably, you can run into a person in that store that can fit your foot to the right shoe. I wear Saucony shoes. I'm not saying that those are the best shoes, but they're what work well for me, and I've tried on many other brands. I would say everyone's familiar with Nike and New Balance. They make some excellent running shoes as well. Price range is probably going to be anywhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 150, give or take. You want to spend some good money on that. There's also a movement with minimalist shoes or even barefoot running, but that's a whole nother topic. And I would say if you're new to running, you probably want to start off in shoes anyways. That's just my opinion, but you don't have to go with that. And I would also say just another little tip about trying on your shoes is to go later in the day, because typically your feet will swell. And obviously no cotton socks. You're going to want synthetic. And as far as shorts or tops, something synthetic as well that's going to be lightweight.
Awesome. We're coming to the end of this interview segment, so do you have any last nuggets of wisdom for the audience members who really want to get into training. They really want to take their fitness to the next level. So what are some parting words for us?
Yes, I would say if you're going to be new to running or new to exercise and you're just kind of getting going, your body may not want to do that. You may run into some resistance. You may have some cramping, some pulled muscles, and you're just going to have to listen to your body. Actually, right now I'm dealing with a shin splint in my right leg because I ramped up my training quite a bit, and I was running longer distances and faster, and I have this little issue there. And it's almost better, but the key here is to dial it back, to rest, and to let your body heal. And that's hard to do when there's something inside of you that wants to kind of keep your training going. And you see a lot of these runners, they may train through injuries, and that's not recommended. You really need to kind of heal up before you get going. So I would say that it seems like common sense to most people, but it's believe it or not, it is hard to do, to dial back the training. So yoga, a lot of core work, maybe some walking, those sorts of things would benefit you. And I would also just, I guess, wrap this up by saying, stay with your goals. Kind of keep your eye on the prize. If your goal is to lose weight or just to improve your overall fitness, remember why you're doing this. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you stronger. You're going to feel better. You're going to sleep better, and it's just going to benefit you well. The benefits do outweigh the cost.
All right. As always, your advice is golden, brother. Folks, that's all the time we have. I want to thank Campfire Talk for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be with us here. Make sure to stay tuned for part 3 of this interview series, where we'll be answering your questions. So make sure to post your questions in the comments section, and Campfire Talk and I will take them head on in part 3. And folks, if you haven't already done so, you can check out Campfire Talk on YouTube, as well as all of his wonderful videos there. And I'll be putting up a link in the description box. Please don't forget to subscribe. And once again, this is Analytical Survival saying, stay safe and healthy, my brothers and sisters.